No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell.
Ooh, I like that.
Carl Jung said that, and I'm saying this. Welcome to High and Low. Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Basketball Show. This is episode number 100 and PJ, aka episode number 193. The PJ I'm referring to is not the Hornets PJ Washington, not this version of the Hornets. I'm not talking about PJ Carlissimo, the former NBA coach. I'm talking about former NBA power forward PJ Brown, who wore the number 93 while playing for the 2008 NBA champion Boston Celtics, a Celtics squad that boasted the likes of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, the Allen boys, Ray and Tony, Rajon, Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, and many more. This was the last stop on PJ Brown's tour of the league. He'd already enjoyed a full career that saw him enjoy some productive seasons with the Nets, the Heat, and the aforementioned Hornets, with 3 selections to the NBA All-Defensive Team. Pretty good. Quickly circling back to that 2008 Celtics team, as the Celtics are in serious contention for another title this year. I've been at a few barbershops where the opinion about this team being overrated has come up, and the response varies from an agreed applause to unpopular sentiment. I guess it depends on the level of objectivity one can reach when talking about Boston and or the Celtics. Shout out to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Anyway,
apropos of nothing.
just to say. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Ike Amaechi. I'm here with Sir Mitch of House Orsatti, or you can call him Mitch Orsatti. We were supposed to be here with Hugo the Sheik, but Hugo was transported to a different dimension where Thursdays and Fridays were Mondays and Tuesdays, and Saturdays were Wednesdays, and so he just has no idea what day today is.
It's Wednesday o'clock for Hugo right now.
Pretty much. Anyway, he'll be back next week. Around here, we live by a principle governed by the high and low lives of the world, which means we talk about basketball, especially and specifically the NBA, and we talk about it at any time, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high, and low. This week, we're exploring some unpopular basketball opinions, specifically opinions pertaining to the NBA. The only reason I make that distinction is because regular high and low life contributor, I said high and low life contributor, but he's just a high and low contributor. But regular high and low contributor Sean Kahn loves to bring up the fact that this is a basketball show. Technically, yes, but we talk about the NBA 98% of the time. So this is practically an NBA podcast with today's unpopular opinions as further proof of that. We all have some opinions that most would agree with, but we also have some that most would not agree with. Personally, I admire people who can have an unpopular opinion and double down on that perspective, regardless of how it's received. I respect it. Not to say we should all be stubborn and never change our opinions or position, but it's refreshing to see someone with a unique point of view, no matter how corrosive or problematic it might be. Hey, at least it's their own. They're unique in this world. We'll explore several of those on this episode. Before we get to that, we have a little NBA history to quickly share. It's been a while since we've done some NBA history around here. And I got a question from a high and low listener to answer. Well, Mitch is going to answer it.
Oh, yeah. I'll get right on that.
I'll jump in. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Before we lock in, let me check in.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Mitch. How you doing?
Oh, I am peachy keen.
Did you, you listened to last week's episode?
Yes, I listened to it. Angrily, God, grip white knuckle in my steering wheel listening to this episode.
Deshaun from Richmond, Virginia.
Deshaun. My guy, Deshaun.
He went in on Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster. Oof.
Had me rankled.
But hey, man, it seemed like everyone had your back because
almost everyone.
Well, hey, the opinions that were shared on that I was very surprised that
I was too,
Steven
to be honest,
was caping. I was like, whoa, Steven's a Raptors fan. I'm like,
closet. Hey, he's a closeted Raptors fan.
Closeted Raptors fan. I'm like, it's cemented for me.
Steven, this is a safe place. Steven. It's okay.
I'm not believing all that Lakers stuff, man. That we stuff, that us. No, he's a Raptors fan. Straight through and through. And I know he has Raptors gear. He does. And again, hey, an unpopular opinion on this show. But Deshaun is, he's allowed to have an unpopular opinion. Or just an opinion. If I ever get a comment or a question like that,
mm-hmm.
and this is also for the listeners that have tuned in or are listening right now, I'm going to invite you onto the podcast.
Yeah, call
even
me
if
up,
it's
man.
just for a moment.
Get me on like a cell phone recording. Get me in there.
Oh no, I'll get you in there, but I'm going to get the listener.
I like
the show, because one thing I discovered last week was that was a fiery comment.
Yeah, we could have chopped it up. We could have chopped it up for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And he wasn't here. Like, Deshaun wasn't there to really defend his point. So I was there trying to be devil's advocate, and I was trying to...
I was mad at you.
I was trying to unpeel the layers of his comments, and I found myself just really speculating, just guessing that that's what he meant, right? But I had to be the alternative, or else it just felt like we're all piling on a listener, and then we'll never get listener questions ever again. So
nah, people love being piled on. I'll leave that right there.
Sure. We'll leave it there. All right. We have a show to get to, so let's jump into it, man. Mitch, I appreciate your time this week. Thank you for joining me. Really, I thank you for joining me, because we know that Hugo had issues. Listeners of the show, High and Low Lives of the World, thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great week. Another week, another episode, because if there's more NBA, there's more high and low. This week in NBA history, Saturday night became a thing. On January 29th, 1984, the NBA ushered in a new era with the inauguration of its first ever All-Star Saturday night at Denver's McNichols Arena. Remember McNichols Arena?
I do not.
Wow.
I do not remember that.
Well, the event showcased the Schick Legends Classic, an exhibition game that featured retired NBA stars lacing up their high tops and squeezing their inflated frames into jerseys for a nostalgic 5v5. The game featured legends like Pete Maravich, Oscar Robertson, John Havlicek. That was on the East squad. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Rick Barry, Earl Monroe. They were on the West squad. It was a nail-biting contest. The West emerged victorious with a slender margin of victory, 64-63. Yeah. Struggling for baskets. It marked the regenesis of a tradition that would both entertain and baffle basketball enthusiasts for another decade. I only use the term baffle because some smart fans foresaw what would eventually happen in the 1992 Legends game, where David Thompson and Norm Nixon would both go down in the same game with serious leg injuries. Not just like an ankle sprain. No, like torn patellas and torn quadriceps. Like, these are massive injuries. And ironically, both Thompson and Nixon were the youngest players competing in that game. The old guys are looking at these guys like, what's going on? Come on. And hey, that would be the catalyst for the decision to do away with the Legends game and replace it with the Rookies game in 1994.
Oh, hold on, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the celebrity game. Have we had a big celebrity game injury before? I can't think of anything. We're got to be due, right?
Well, let's not wish things upon anyone.
Well, I mean, celebrity dependent, but continue.
If it's Kevin Hart, I mean,
that's literally the person I had in my mind, by the way.
I would like to see Kevin Hart and Cat Williams in the celebrity game. Just put Cat Williams in the West, put Kevin Hart on the East squad, and let's see what happens. They're both the same height. So,
Yeah, whole lot of nothing.
Let them do the tip off. Oof. I hate the celebrity game, but I would watch that.
It sucks.
It's terrible. Terrible. But yeah, hey, back to 1984 though. Amidst the Legends Classic fervor, the spotlight shifted to the Nestle Crunch Slam-Dunk contest, a spectacle that would soon become synonymous with star-making athleticism and aerial activity and creativity. Larry Nance Sr., that guy, he etched his name in history as the first ever winner, defying gravity with mesmerizing dunk after mesmerizing dunk. Remember those long socks and short shorts? The triumph saw Nance Sr. outshine esteemed competitors, including the legendary Julius Erving, Dr. J, and a man who would go on to win future contests and cement himself as one of the greatest dunkers of all time, Dominique Wilkins. And this added an extra layer of drama to the unfolding narrative of All-Star Saturday. The echoes of that night in Denver, they still reverberate to this day as the NBA All-Star Weekend established itself as a stage where legends are honored and future stars emerge. The birth of Larry Nance's dunking prowess on that fateful evening marked not only a personal victory, but a symbolic initiation of the league into the era of all-star extravaganzas that continue to entertain fans as well as enhance the NBA's business portfolio. Because let's be honest, it's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Through and through.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, that was a little something for the NBA history nerds. Things are certainly happening in the NBA, which is why you have questions and we have answers. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something important.
I have a question from Shango in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shango in Shreveport. Shango's question is this. If Kawhi Leonard wins a title in LA, where would you rank him all time? It's a good question.
I think he needs to do, it is a good question, because I think Kawhi he's not as highly ranked as he could be for a couple of reasons. But I want to extrapolate a little bit on the parameters of Shango's question here. He'd have to win a chip and the Finals MVP, because it's a little crowded on that team in terms of who could pull that award if they did win. Like if the Clippers win the championship, Harden goes off for 3 of the 6 games or whatever it is, or PG or Russ. Like there's a lot of options to win Finals MVP on the team. But for the sake of this argument, let's say Kawhi wins both the chip and the Finals MVP. I think the highest I can put him is top 25, and like in that 24, 23, 26, like in that range. He's just missed too many games. He has no MVPs. And I don't think he's going to have a super long career either. Like, I don't think he's going to have longevity to really help, like, prop his numbers up. So, I don't know, like, impactful, extremely impactful when he plays, without a doubt. Defensive Player of the Year, championship. I think this would be his 4th chip. Like,
yeah,
that's
4
a lot.
chips.
But I don't know. I don't think it's like, I don't think it's top 10. I don't even think it's top 15, top 20. I don't think so.
I mean, he's played. This is his 11th year in the NBA.
What are we counting as a year here?
Technically, it's 11 for him, but he needs to play another game quickly because he's played in 666 games.
Yikes!
For the religious folk out there, that's gross. Let's Kawhi, hurry up and play another game, please. Let's get that number up.
One of those years, he played 9 games.
Yeah, he's never played a full season.
Yeah, never over 57 games.
Yeah,
as a Clipper, 60 as a Raptor. You gotta go back to when he was 25 years old. The man's almost 33.
Yeah, I think Kawhi is a very special case, and I think this is why this is a good question from Shango, because I don't think Kawhi could be measured with the same metrics as you would any other player in, say, the top 25, top 20 of all time. I think the same rules that apply to anyone who is judging Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, I think the same rules apply to Kawhi, right? Because technically speaking, LeBron has lapped Jordan in terms of stats, right? In terms of games
totals.
played, minutes played, totals, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of quality, like Jordan, 6 chips, 6 titles, right? He went to the finals 6 times, won 6 times. That's all Jordan fans are like, that's it. That, like, he was just the ultimate winner, number one guy.
Right.
If Kawhi wins 4 titles, 3 different teams, especially if he wins, to your point,
the guy,
as the guy, and he could very likely win that.
The favorite, I would say, of all the guys on that Clipper team, it should be him.
Yeah, like if they were all to put up similar numbers in the finals, win it in 6 games, I just think people would just automatically say, I'm giving the vote to Kawhi Leonard for finals MVP. Just because it just seems like it's sort of been demarcated as his team.
Right.
He's the number one guy.
I don't know if the comparison is quite there, because it's not like Jordan.
I'm not calling him Jordan.
Play. No, not to compare him to Jordan per se, but like just the totals and longevity thing. Like Jordan played a lot of basketball too. I think comparatively, Kawhi has played. How many games did Jordan play? Like he was still playing at 42 or whatever it is, right? Like I don't see Kawhi playing without retirements for another 10 years, right? Like
no.
I get what you're trying to say.
I mean, Jordan played 1,000 games, so
right.
It's
right. Is Kawhi going to play 400 more? Probably not.
No, but it's only
if he plays 400.
It's only
more,
the comparative.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's playing 400 more, I'll be shocked. But it's
then
only
he'll be in the top 20.
It's just only that Jordan versus LeBron argument,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, because logic would tell you if someone steps into that conversation, completely, like just objectively looking at the numbers, I think people would be
you have to give it to LeBron,
yeah. It's like, well, yeah, why aren't we calling LeBron the best player of all time, right?
you drop an alien on Earth. You're like, what do you mean LeBron's not the number one guy? What are we talking about here?
This is insane. Who's this Michael guy? Come on.
Like, I'm sorry. Have you seen Michael Jordan?
And that's it. That's the argument. That's like, whoa. Have you seen this guy play? Come on, right? But I think
that ties into Kawhi too, right? Like that's part of the Kawhi mythos is you can put LeBron there too. LeBron is it's the only time LeBron has looked shook in his whole career is when Kawhi was guarding him or checking into the game. Like that iconic moment where he turned over his shoulder, saw Kawhi checking in, mouthed the F word, and then continued to shoot his free throws.
Kawhi has some of the greatest highlights. Like you think about the 1-finger block,
the no-look steals,
the iconic game winner where the ball hits the rim 4 times and Kawhi's squatting, watching.
Probably the best game winner of all time. Let's just call that what it is.
Possibly. I mean, let's just call it what it is, right? These are iconic moments that if you give one of those to any player, it's the greatest moment of their life.
Right.
It's still not number one for Kawhi. Still not number one. And you just said it right there. That is the greatest moment in Kawhi's career. Kawhi was 23 years old at that point.
Yeah. He's averaging like 15 or something. Like,
yeah. Like that, and that's the thing. Like, it wasn't about the stats. It was about what he brought to the game. He had LeBron. Like, LeBron knew how good this kid was at that point. To the point where
he was like kind of skinny too. Still, right? Like he hadn't quite filled in yet. Like,
yeah, that's enough of a reason to have that conversation about where Kawhi really belongs.
So where do you have him then?
Honestly, I have him in top 15.
Whoa!
I think
top 15. If he wins a Finals MVP.
If he wins 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different teams, 4 titles. LeBron has 4 titles, and LeBron had to play 20 years for 4 titles.
That's rude.
Right? I'm just saying, like, you know, what this guy's been able to accomplish in the limited time that he's been on a basketball court, it's all quality. There's zero quantity. It's just all quality.
That's a great point. When he's out there, it's not nothing.
It's a version. It's not Michael Jordan, but it's a version of that where it's like,
right.
Okay, I'm coming back. I'm going to win. Okay, I'm going to take this seriously now. Let's
winning,
win.
Right? It's winning. That's what
he just wants to
right
win.
There. Yeah. All right. Well, what did I say? Top 25? You've swayed me into like top 20 territory, and I'll comfortably leave it there.
But hey, we'll see if he does actually win Finals MVP.
Spoiler.
Anyway, it's time for us to take a quick break. When we come back, we're getting unpopular. It's the High and Low Basketball Show.
Drum roll!
And we are back. I'm Ike Amaechi, alongside the insightful and astute Sir Mitch of House Orsatti. And, of course, you're listening to High and Low, the High and Low NBA show. Today, we're diving into the depths of the NBA digital universe to unravel the most provocative and unpopular opinions. I say the digital universe because that's where I grab these unpopular opinions from. I'll ask you to brace yourselves for some potential triggering takes. Some heated discussions. Actually, no, it's not going to be too heated. It's just Mitch and myself, and we're pretty level-headed here. we don't get
missing a couple of the hotheads.
Exactly. But hey, you may get some unexpected twists and takes that might just redefine your whole basketball worldview. Mitch just discovered that right now with Kawhi. He's like, oh, actually, Kawhi might be a top 5 guy of all time.
Whoa,
you did say that, right?
Top five.
Isn't that what you said?
I bumped him up 5 from 25 to 20.
Gotcha. I misread that. Relax. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, I'm gonna throw them out there. Unpopular opinions, and I'll invite Mitch to either agree, disagree, and of course, Mitch is gonna tell us why. Because that's what we do here.
I've been known. To eschew an opinion.
And if we do this again, maybe I'll grab opinions from high and low listeners. So without further ado, let's embark on this journey into the realm of unpopular NBA opinions, starting with the NBA should get rid of the All-Star game. So with concerns about player injuries and the perceived lack of competitiveness, there's a faction of the fan base suggesting that the All-Star game has outlived its purpose and should be discontinued. Oh my goodness. What would the NBA do?
Figure out a different cash cow? Look, I think there's a key word in that little preamble you offered there, and that's purpose. I agree. Let's get rid of the All-Star game or keep it and give it a purpose. What are we doing here? There's just... I stopped watching forever ago because outside of the spectacle and like whatever Taco Bell, Kia you can throw in there, there's just
activations.
This is nothing. It's just nothing. It's just a game that goes up to like 160 or whatever, and it means 0. If you want to keep it, make it worth something. It doesn't have to be worth a lot. It doesn't have to be money. I don't think it should ever be money, but give it some purpose and then keep it. If not, get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. My perception of All-Star Weekend completely changed in 2016 when they had the All-Star game, the All-Star Weekend in Toronto. And I was able to attend various events and attend the festivities, the game, and I witnessed it firsthand. 90% of this has nothing to do with basketball.
Right.
90% of it has nothing to do with the NBA, believe it or not. Like, it's just the NBA logo has been stamped on this event or this activation or whatever it may be. Be honest about what the purpose of this event is. Call it what it is. right? Like if you want to have a trade show where you have brand activations, where you're forging new partnerships, new relationships. It's for the economic viability of the product, of the association, and call it that. Just call it that event. Have that weekend.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further for you. Here's a freebie for you, NBA. You know how when they give out the award, there's like some VP of operations or something who's like standing off to the side and they announce his name and no one knows who they are. Give me like a tournament of like Tim Bosbocci, the VP of North American Field Operations at Taco Bell. Like give me that guy against like with some other like 60-year-old dude. Like instead of the celebrity game, put all those VPs of operations and then let's see how quickly they get to 5.
Yeah.
Give me that game to 5. 10 guys who can't play ball. I'll watch that.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Next unpopular opinion. The Los Angeles Clippers are the title favorites. So the Clippers started the season slowly, but they've bounced back. 20-4 since the start of December, at least at the time of this recording. And there are some NBA fans and pundits who think that the Clippers look like a legitimate contender.
Well, first things first, shout out to the guest, Stephen Leslie, for saying the Clippers were going to be trash after the Harden trade. I never forget. But for this one, you know what? Obviously, I disagree. They're as well positioned as any contender, I think. But really, this is the Nuggets' chip to lose still, I think. I think Jokic is still like, far and above the best player in the league. And I don't know. I don't know. What do you do with the Clippers? They could be anything. They could be incredible, and they can, pardon my French, hit the bed. Like I think it's totally possible we get to the playoff time and they're out in the first round, second round maybe. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Next unpopular opinion: Stephen Wardell Curry is a system player. So a contrarian view suggests that Curry's success is largely due to the Warriors system, and he might not have the same impact on another team. Hey.
No. Disagree. Vehemently disagree. What are we talking about here? What Warriors system? There's no Warriors system without Steph. He is the Warriors system. He created it. You drop Steph on any team, even before he becomes the Steph Curry. Drop him on any team, his progression is going to be what it is because of his work ethic and because of his just insane shot making, shot creating, shot selecting. That guy is the system, period. Mm-hmm. Couldn't disagree more.
He will go down as a top 5 guy of all time.
Ooh, spicy. Top 5. I think he's top 10 already, but top 5.
He is. He's another guy that, if we're talking about, we talked about Kawhi. What if Kawhi gets another title? Mm-hmm. If Steph gets another title,
that if is looking less and less possible if he stays on the Warriors.
Well, I think I think I threw a question out at the guys last week about Steph. I think it was directed at Sean. If Steph should leave the Warriors for.
Yeah, he should. 100% he should.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Another unpopular opinion here. Dwyane Wade is overrated as an all-time great. So while Wade is celebrated, there's a faction suggesting that his standing among the all-time great shooting guards is higher than warranted.
And the leader of said faction is none other than High and Low podcast host. Bro, you're the first one to talk about Dwyane Wade being overrated.
Absolutely.
I again disagree vehemently. Look, I know there's this talk about like, Bron carried him, Shaq carried him, whatever. No way. Who's ahead of Dwyane Wade? Michael Jordan, easily, yes. Kobe Bryant, easily, yes. Mm-hmm. Jerry West, not as easily, but still ahead. And I think that's it. I think Harden if he ever wins anything, gets ahead of Dwyane Wade. But I don't think there's anyone even close.
I think Harden's already ahead of Dwyane Wade, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I just think, what Harden did, because we just teased a future episode about guys who changed the game. 2017, 2018, actually 2016, 2017, 2018, James Harden. Houston Rockets, James Harden, in his bag, right in the pocket.
One man show.
Has there ever been a player like that?
Just
aside from MJ, and we put MJ above him, right?
Quick question: Did he win anything? Did he win anything that year?
He did.
MVP? Did he win MVP that year?
He won. He didn't win that year, but he
didn't win that year. Did he win a chip?
No,
he didn't. Has he ever won a Finals MVP?
Nope.
All defense? I think never. Stop! Come on, stop it already. Stop it. Dwyane Wade is a 3-time NBA champ. He's a Finals MVP, 3-time All Defense. Won a scoring championship, which also Harden has done. I don't think it's even close. Even if Harden wins one chip, I still don't think he's above. He's done amazing things. I'm not discrediting Harden, but I think Wade doesn't get the credit he deserves.
We didn't know that James Harden was a butterfly. We didn't even know. We didn't even know that what we experienced in 2017 was just a caterpillar. We didn't even know. We thought that was James Harden fully blossomed, fully bloomed, flying with his wings everywhere. We didn't know that this guy would actually transform his game and become something else. And not only just become something else, but become one of the best at that. This guy turned into a point guard and then led the league in assists. Like we're talking about Dwyane Wade winning the scoring title, which James Harden did. But Dwyane Wade never went and became a stat leader at another position, completely different position. That says something about, yes, he doesn't have the titles. He doesn't have the titles. He doesn't have some of the accolades that Dwyane Wade has. But from a pure basketball perspective, like just looking at both players side by side, and in terms of who I would want, in terms of talent, like James Harden is, to me, heads and shoulders above Dwyane Wade in terms of talent. Heads and shoulders.
I mean, offensively, probably. No, I don't think so. I don't think I agree. I can't agree with that, man. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
And so here's your unpopular opinion. You and I here. I just I don't even think it's close, to be honest. I really think that Wade is that much better.
Wow. Okay.
You and I are going to be in our 70s and 80s. Just be like, I can't believe that. We'll queue up our high and low greatest hits, and we'll reminisce.
Oh, James Harden. James Harden finally won a chip.
Oh, here we go again. James Harden. Yeah.
43 years old, what a chip with Bronny James.
That's right. He did get a chip. He got
his title.
44. Yeah, God.
Got his title.
All right, you guys, what's next?
The 90s era was overrated. So contrary to the popular sentiment that the 90s were a golden era for the NBA, some fans argue that the competition wasn't as strong as portrayed.
What is this show? What are we doing here? Is this the I vehemently disagree show? Good grief. No, I disagree. Obviously, I disagree with this. The current iteration of the NBA is just so hypercharged, TikTok offense. It just makes it so easy to really discount the 90s, which, to no fault of the players in the 90s, the league was just so from a rules perspective, so defensive oriented that it made it that you needed to have Scott Pollards and these Chris Mims, these nothing big men. Sorry to those big men. I don't mean to call you nothing, but guys who would not be in the league today, period. But you had to have them. Exactly. Yes. Let's name more. Exactly. The same guy, basically. You needed to have players who would not be able to hang today because of the rules that existed then. And because of the player personnel, to be honest, that was featured at that time. You had just bigs. Bigs were more of a thing. Not bigs who could shoot, just bigs who would destroy you.
Yeah.
So does it make it overrated? I don't think so. It's just like a different era, and an era that is, to be honest, maybe underrated. So I think I, again, vehemently disagree.
Hey, let's take a quick break to level set. But we'll be right back with more unpopular opinions after this break. This is High and Low.
Watch your profanity.
And we are back. This is the High and Low NBA show. Unpopularity isn't too bad, dare I say, underrated. It's refreshing to wallow on the other side of the zeitgeist. Hey, I have a few more unpopular NBA opinions, so let's jump into it. Next one is wow. Okay.
Great. Can't wait.
Wow. Dirk Nowitzki's legacy is inflated. While Dirk is celebrated for leading the Mavericks to a championship, some argue that his legacy benefits from a lack of scrutiny in comparison to other all-time greats. My goodness.
Okay. I hate that this entire episode is turning me into a populist, because what is happening? What is happening here?
Man.
So Dirk's legacy is, propped up, if we're going to use those terms, by his winning against the Heat, correct? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That chip, Bill Simmons, who I, don't actively engage with anymore, he talked about in his book of basketball around championship strength. So but he equated it to MVPs. So he called Derrick Rose's MVP was the least strong case for an MVP. Dirk's chip against those Heat, that's one of the strongest chips, I think, in NBA history.
Oh yeah.
And somehow we're going to call that inflated. If we're just focusing on that one chip, is that what we're going to do? Because then you're going to ignore the 12-time All MVP, All NBA, an MVP, a Finals MVP, and he played 20 years for the same team and revolutionized what big men do.
Mm-hmm.
Miss me with all that. Inflated? No way. No way. Again, undervalued.
Undervalued. And that's a great point. That Mavericks team, remember they beat Portland in the first round. Portland had LaMarcus Aldridge and, to me, in my opinion, my boy, Brandon Roy, who would have been the shooting guard that would have been ahead of Dwyane Wade and James Harden easily all time if this guy had just played at least maybe 3 more seasons. 3 more seasons.
Jelly donuts in his knees.
Ugh. And they beat Portland. They beat Portland in the first round in 6 games. They beat Kobe and the Lakers in the second round. And this is a Lakers team that was looking to repeat.
All right, you guys, what's next?
And then they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder with
young and stacked.
Young and stacked. This is Kevin Durant. This is Russ. This is James Harden. This is the same team that was going to go to the finals themselves.
Ibaka.
With Ibaka, right? That run, beat that. The fact that it's not there were no 7-game series. They beat the Trailblazers in 6 games. They beat the Heat in 6 games. They swept the Lakers and they beat the Thunder in 5. And it's all on Dirk's back. You look at that roster and just show me another superstar or even a star. They had workers. They had good basketball players on that roster, but they needed Dirk's offense. And he came through time and time again, big shot after big shot on guys who would go down to be superstars themselves. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah.
And he's 32 years old at this point too, and not a spry 32. Like 32 then is not what 32 is today. Like Dirk was like, creaky at 32.
He's an old 32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Next one. The 2020 NBA Bubble Championship comes with an asterisk. Controversial take is that the circumstances of the bubble altered the competitive landscape, making the Lakers' victory less indicative of a normal NBA championship. I think someone in the Clippers organization might have shared that one with me.
Okay, I have like a lot of push and pull, internal push and pull here. I hate the Lakers. It's been known. And I think that bubble chip, I talked about Dirk's like heavy chip. I think the bubble chip is pretty light. But at the same token, there's this like COVID messed up a lot of people mentally. And some teams did better with it and some teams did not. And I think there's an argument that, maybe winning a chip in the like heart of a pandemic should be rated higher. Maybe. There's no fans, so I can see that being easier. Like, I don't know. This can be like dissected forever. Like, there's just so many factors that can lead one way or another. But if I had to choose one, I hate the Lakers a lot, so I agree. Weak chip. Caveat, weak chip.
Weak chip.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Next one is Luka. Luka Doncic is overhyped. Despite his undeniable talent, there's a viewpoint that the hype around Luka surpasses his actual impact on winning, especially in the postseason.
Okay. I agree, but it feels kind of lazy, to be honest. Because Dallas, honestly, what has changed? If you were to like plop Luka into the Dirk archetype here, it's the same. Dallas just consistently puts kind of mid-plus players around their stars. And I don't know. It's like a blurred line. I don't know where Dallas starts and the star player ends. Because with Luka, I've said it before on this podcast and I'll say it again. His style of play is not conducive to winning a chip. And ultimately, we are grading players based on their ability to win games. And in the regular season, he's a dynamo, but he runs out of gas because he's got like a 37% usage rate or something, which is just insane. Like,
who does that remind you of?
Yeah, James Harden.
James Harden.
I've compared him to a lot. Like, it's just not. So, is he overhyped? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's Luka or if it's Dallas or if it's this like, I don't know, like super collider where it makes this like perfect or imperfect storm. So I agree, but like half-heartedly.
Yeah, I think he's properly hyped. I wouldn't put it.
He's extremely good. Like,
he's great.
Extremely good.
All right, you guys, what's next?
We have next one. Next unpopular opinion. Giannis Antetokounmpo's game is limited. Some fans argue that Giannis's game lacks versatility, specifically citing concerns about his outside shooting and reliance on athleticism. What do you think about that opinion?
Yeah, I agree, but who cares? Like, when you can destroy opposing teams with sheer force, what does it matter? Were people asking Shaq to develop a jumper? No. Like, when Giannis's body and his athleticism slows down, fine. Develop a shot. Extend your career. For now, good Lord, have a limited game. If your limited game is producing what he's producing, back-to-back MVP? Was he back-to-back?
Yep.
Am I wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. No, back-to-back. Yeah.
Who cares? Be as limited as you need to be. You're dominating. The end.
The end, indeed. Not truly the end, because we have one more. One more opinion.
Okay.
Okay. The NBA should abolish the Rookie of the Year award. The controversial opinion suggests that the Rookie of the Year award contributes to inflated expectations and unnecessary pressure on young players. This opinion sounds like it came from someone in Generation Z.
Yeah. Hey, Generation Z with a controversial opinion. Who hurt you? It's okay. This is a safe space. No, disagree. What are we? Who cares? Give a young person an award. Let them feel happy. God, have some joy in your life. Jesus.
I would like to know what they would replace it with. Like, if you're not going to have the Rookie of the Year award.
What, sophomore of the year? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
People like to be acknowledged.
I think something to look at. Yeah, something to look at is like how many players who won Rookie of the Year had their careers destroyed because they won that award. I think the list is smaller than it is large.
Ooh, I don't know.
Right? I think so.
I mean,
who are the worst Rookie of the Years? Let's start there.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Emeka Okafor,
who had a
Evans.
hold on. Both of those guys had good careers.
Well, Tyreek Evans,
not like superstar, but like veteran quality role players. Emeka more than Tyreek for sure.
Yeah. Michael Carter-Williams,
bad.
Yeah,
that's a bad one for sure. Ben Simmons is teetering there, I think.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
But there's
Mike Miller had a solid career, but
solid career. No, but I think maybe then the like perception and the perspective on the Rookie of the Year needs to change. Like, just because you win Rookie of the Year doesn't mean you're going to be like a top guy ever. Like, it just means you were really excellent and then you developed a career. Like, I think any number of guys would kill to have a career like Mike Miller's. He played for 16 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Contributed to championship winning teams. Like, gosh, that's great. That's a great career. Good for you. Michael Carter-Williams, bad. But then you got guys like top tier guys have won Rookie of the Year too, right? Like,
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Because I think for the most part, like 95% of the players that have won Rookie of the Year have gone on to become
solid to
level.
Excellent.
Yeah. The Rookie of the Year is I think it's a proper barometer.
Yeah, it's a good award. It's like given among all sports, I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the NHL calls its Rookie of the Year.
I think it's the Calder
Trophy.
I think it's the Calder Trophy. I don't know what the baseball one is.
What is it called? Oh, it's just called Rookie of the Year. Okay. Yeah.
Well, they should do better. Do better, MLB. Get a brand for once in your life.
So, hey, those were our unpopular opinions. All of them seem to be unpopular.
I had mostly problems with all of them.
Why the f*** I can't shoot 3-point shots?
Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode of High and Low. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you, Mitch, Sir Mitch of House Orsatti. And remember to subscribe to High and Low anywhere you find podcasts. Make us part of your weekly routine. You know where to find us. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on YouTube. Links to those are all in the show notes. So where can listeners find you, Mitch?
Well, I'm keeping consistent. No more X promotion from me. You can find me over at RaptorsHQ. I'm talking about the Raps, who are holding a middle ground in my heart right now. I don't want to be hurt. Not yet.
In the standings, though. Not in the standings.
Listen, we don't have to. It's okay. I'm not ready. Okay.
Not ready. Okay. All right. We'll leave it alone. And once again, music is by Live of the Enjoy Music Group. You can find Live on Twitter, X, you can find them on Instagram at LYVE. Additional music is by Sonny Rockwell of The Goodness. Sound design by Vaughn August. This is a Vaughn Abraham podcast, just in case you didn't know. So on behalf of Mitch Orsatti, I'm Ike Amaechi. Thank you for listening to High and Low, and we'll talk to you next week.
Ooh, the McNichols Arena.